bumper.
Well, I suppose my first step to fixing my little oopsie daisies and holes is to tape the back sides of them like straight, and then I'll fiberglass them back together. On the bumper, I started repairing, and I added some fiberglass to these areas. I should probably support that a little bit, but I've got a hammer and a crowbar, pry bar supporting this part, and I didn't do every little part that I taped off just because I want to support, like, make sure I get these right, and then I'll do like the full job. Just those two little pieces of fiberglass really kind of fix the stiffness of the bumper, and my corners are on, and I'll do the rest of the duct tape areas. That's like a mission success.
Mounting the side strikes.
I bought some clips. My fingers. Bought some clips. I bought the variety pack just because I went to AutoZone, and maybe you get 3 of these for $5. Really not a good way to get a hold of a bunch of these, but of course they have to be modified. That used to be round, and then it's that part is too thick in there, so I gotta trim down some of the flexible teeth. Not an easy task for such a simple thing to do. If only Chrysler still made the clips. I went to fit the side strike, and the diameter of these is just a little bit too loose, so I'm going up a size. I think then it'll be solid. And then I also had to reattach that one because I couldn't drill under it to get, one of those pins in. And there were just some other parts around here. Let me see if I can find one where the side of it was coming loose, so I added some fiberglass there. I know that's not straight, but wow, that's awesome. That fits. So these ones are not totally going in, probably because there's not enough back spacing, so I'll have to like pull off the door panel and pull them in. And now they're at a point where I can't really sand them, so I think they'll just stay on the car until I really do the full paint job on the car. But that's fine. The entire aesthetic of the car is rough shape. Look at that. It fits. It's been a long time that trim piece has been off. That's incredible.
Joining the hood and bumper.
This hood's looking pretty good. I cut out some bubbles that I'll fill, and then I hammered that piece of the frame in, unibody frame, so it's not that big a deal. Then I guess to get these in, I just kind of guess with a small drill bit and then see where I land. I gotta get the body attached. I gotta get the hood attached before I can attach the bumper, because if I attach the bumper and the bumper lands crooked and I don't get on these, it's just gonna be cockeyed. So it's best to line it up and then work your way forward. Well, so here's where we're at. We got mounts here and here. Seem to have moved a little bit. Whatever. And then see here and there. So now I can put on the bumper, graft that on. Right now I'm kind of confused. Well, not confused, but just like a little unsure where should I make it go like that, or if I just let it hang out, because I just don't want any warpage issues. Actually, it should be out because it's gonna have to clear the headlight. How how this is going to work, and I actually need to cut that flange down a little bit. All right. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. That's cool.
Look at this. The bumper is applied. It's merged. Not well, but I'll have to sand that out.
And then, yeah, the middle here is on. That was a lot of work because this was deflected up and this was deflected down. So I had to have my hand under it while the fiberglass was curing, and I was using a heat gun. Got that done. Pretty sweet. The little eye inlet, I probably will have to put some glass in there because that's pretty tight in there, and I like that. And then look at this, where the bottom of the bumper meets the edge of the fender right here. So just that, you know, I'll sand that smooth, but it'll all look great. And then unfortunately, because the fenders were both in more by about that much, to get the bumper to come out, it was short by about this much, and so I cut it and moved it out. I'm gonna blend it so only the people who know that I did that will know that the bumper is stretched. But this is awesome. Look at that. It's finally a car again. It's only been 4 years. Crazy. I've had these strikes on the car for a while now. Kind of hard to see in this light. And so I was just test fitting it, obviously. And I could tell that there were some high points here, so I ground that off. Might have to grind more of it off. And under here, it was high points. And eventually, when this is all ready, then I'll take these off, primer them, and it'll be beautiful. I'll primer this. And then I could eventually paint the car. That'd be amazing. While I'm waiting for this to cure, I secured the flanges for the Zeus clips, and I put the rivets in backwards because when this is sticking out on the other side, usually it hits the flange, and I hate dealing with that because then you have to cut away more, and you have to use like a special length of rivet to just barely pop out of the glass but not interfere with the surface, because this is barely reaching the flange underneath anyway. So it's just better when they're out, and I can trim these too so they're like not obtrusive. And they'll have to come out when I primer and paint this, but this is just a good solution for now to get this baby on. The bumper is being fiberglassed, and from the stretch here. That fender line looks good, pretty good. Some of you might notice how big that gap is. That is how the fender was. The car is lifted up more in the front because I took so much weight out of the engine area that I'll probably have to run a lower spring. But I'll get there when I get there. Sweet. Also, I'm thinking of doing my hinge here so the whole hood will come out like that. And when I get that hinge done, I can secure this part of the hood more in so I can handle that deflection. And that'll be good. To get the bumper to fit, I had to remove the bash bar here. And the bash bar was where the intercooler was connected. I'm pretty convinced at this point that I'm not gonna have that bash bar, and I'll make my own out of tubing. So now I gotta move the intercooler. It's fine. Just creating more work for myself, don't worry about it. while I've been sanding the front clip, I've been working on the lower front end, and I learned on the Miata that you can put some wire lath, some metal, in the fiberglass, and it'll substantially add strength. So you add a layer of fiberglass under the metal, put the metal in, and then add a layer of glass on top of that. I'm just pre-fitting it right now. I'm securing it all with zip ties, and then I'll fill those holes later. That's how it's looking. I got the lath in, very solid. Something that was a big challenge is normally if you're adhering fiberglass, it's on a flat surface, so when you pull on it, it's already got adhesion to other surfaces. But since I was applying to lath, getting the fiberglass to hold on to the lath was tough, and over here it was just kind of like pulling away, which was unfortunate, but it's a lot better now. I managed to get it done. Over here looks pretty good. Now I'm just gonna trim it, and this is gonna be real stiff over here. I don't think it's gonna crack, or if I have any incidents with a thing that's in front of me. Yeah, look at that. I got a lot of holes filled. I did most of it with glass. The bumper is the biggest problem. The goal with this video is to get this piece into primer. And I did such a poor job on the bumper. I mean, I filled in so much stuff and it still looks like a nightmare. So, you're not really supposed to do this, but I've made the bumper stiff enough at this point where I could put Bondo in all these holes. It wouldn't totally pop out. And so that's what I'm gonna do. Then it'll look beautiful. Oh dang, I can't even remember the last time I recorded a segment for this. It's all just been sand, 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 sand. All in here after I got the metal in. This is all like really stiff, so I can put Bondo in there. You really shouldn't. That's not kosher. It's not fiberglass kosher. Like over here, that's okay, 'cause it's pretty stiff over here, but like in here, where there were some holes, I actually used milled fiberglass and soaked in resin. It becomes like the consistency of Bondo, but that's what you gotta do. Because the different hardnesses will crack. But like in here, that was just easy to fill with Bondo. Yeah, wow, look at that. So excited. Oh boy. Time to brush on some primer. Dang, that's pretty cool. What I'm brushing on is high build primer. It's not brush on primer. I've heard some people ask about that. It's just primer that I am brushing on. The reason I'm brushing it on is because there's a bunch of little pinholes and it's easier to fill with a brush. If you spray it, then the holes don't fill. Woo! I'm a little high right now. The hood is on. It's kind of ready to party. It's not sanded. Let's see. Yeah. But I'm bored of sanding and I have other things to do. Then the thing I got to think about now is, so I've got the intercooler mounted, right? But this is just straight on, right? I need to make a flange, probably start it with cardboard, to move the air up into here. I mean, most of the radiator is like right behind, from here, square down, square down. I don't know if I want to cut that part out. I've been looking at pictures online. It's very confusing. It looks like eclipses.
they'll put on a Eclipse bumper and they'll at least go out to here, right? And because they don't have the Eagle Talon badge right here. Not really sure exactly what I'm gonna do. But yeah, if the air just goes straight on, it's just gonna hit the frame. Very odd, very odd. Odd thing you did, Mitsubishi.